6 months later, he sold the stock for $65 per share. He paid a commission of $120 and repaid the loan. What is his net profit? Okay, so let's just kind of break it down. I'm going to try to label everything, so if you're confused, it should hopefully be very clear. So the loan, it says, is $2,000 at 8% interest. For, it says he sold it 6 months later. So for 6 months. Excuse me. So what hopefully we remember, because we've done this equation a few times with interest, that interest is equal to principal times rate times time. In this scenario, 6 months is 1/2 of a year. So the interest on this problem, I'm just going to use I. Principal is $2,000 times the rate, 8%, remember we write as 0.08, and the time is 1/2. When you're using this equation, time is in terms of years. So it's half of a year. All right, so we have 2,000 times 0.08 times 1/2 is the same as 0.5. So this is $80 in interest that Luke's going to have to pay back. All right, so let's see. The amount received from selling stock. So he's going to sell his stock and he's going to get some money. I'll actually do an equal sign here. So he has 100 shares. And when he goes to sell them, he sold them at $65 per share. So 100 times $65 is $6,500. So that's what Luke gets when he sells his stock. But before we can figure out his profit, we need to figure out how much money he paid. How much did it cost him? So yeah, that's how much he gets, but he spent some money and he has some fees there. So the cost paid was the $6,000 that he spent up front. So that $6,000, that was the cash and the loan, plus that $80 that we already calculated was the interest paid to the firm. So the brokerage firm that he borrowed $2,000 from, he also has to pay them that $80 in interest. And he also has to pay $120 for commission. All right. So that, if we add all of that, we have our $6,000 plus our 80 plus our 120. So this costs Luke $6,200. So 6,500 minus 6,200 So he made $300 on this deal. All right, number 2. Carolyn bought 200 shares of stock at $30 per share, so it's $6,000 total. They're telling us that part already. She paid $3,000 in cash and borrowed $3,000 from the brokerage firm. This loan has an annual interest rate of 5%. 6 months later, again, she sold the stock for $40 per share, and she paid a commission of $120 and paid the loan back. What is her net profit? So same idea with the loan. So her loan, she borrowed $3,000 at 5% interest. For 6 months again. So his her interest here that she has to pay back, we have our $3,000 times 0.05 times, again, 6 months is half of a year, or 0.5. So Carolyn's going to spend $75 in interest here. So the amount received, so when Carolyn goes to sell this stock, she has 200 shares and she sells them for $40 per share. So 200 times 40 is $8,000. So the total cost paid here, she spent $6,000 on the stock plus $75 for interest, and commission is $120. So 6,000 plus 75 plus 120 is $6,195. So Carolyn's profit then, the $8,000 that she got when she sold her stock minus the $6,195 that it cost her. Was $1,805. So I want you guys to try number 3. I'm going to give you probably about 2 minutes to try it. I'm going to work it out. So I think I'm going to try to freeze the screen so you won't be able to see me working it out, and you'll be able to see it after to see if it matches up. I want you, please, yes, you can just copy it down. I'm aware of that. But I want you to try it so that you can see where you're getting stuck before you have to do this on your test. So actually, real quick though, I should tell you, so on this one, it's the same exact thing. Nathan bought 200 shares of stock, $40. He borrowed $3,000, the interest rate 6 months later, but it wants to know how much will he lose. So your profit in this problem would be negative, just kind of giving you a heads up if you get there before I go over it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So the loan is $3,000 at 6% interest for 6 months. So the interest is $90. Some of you are going to kind of skip this part right here. And if you're comfortable with the math, you can just go straight here. I like to write it out so you can see kind of exactly where it's coming from. And that's why, like on number 1, I tried to label everything. So $90 interest. When Nathan goes to sell his stock, the 200 shares at $38 each, he gets $7,600. But the total cost paid is $8,250. So his net loss here, so we do that 7,600 minus the 8,250. We get negative $650. And if you did this the other way, 8,250 minus 7,600, and you said his loss is $650, that's fine. So this is how much money he will lose. As long as you understand that that's how much money he's losing or negative, it doesn't matter kind of what way you do your subtraction. I wouldn't put this and positive 650 on your test because it can be confusing depending on how you interpret the wording of the problem. All right, so moving on, we are going to go to the do the math from the book. We have those 2 problems. Oh, the $38 it's the current price per share. So if he sells it, that's how much money he's going to get per share. Any other questions before I move on? You can take her upstairs if you need to. You're right. Okay. All right, so last 2 math problems that you'll have to turn in. Yes, you'll do some on your test and or review tomorrow. Try to move this so we can read the book and see the paper. All right, so here we go. Page 407, do the math. You plan to buy 35 shares of stock for $22.18 per share. If you use a full service broker, you must pay a 2% commission on the purchase price. You must also pay $10 because it's an odd lot sale and $15 because it's a small purchase. Investment advice is included at no extra cost. What is the total amount you must pay? If you use a discount broker, you'll have to pay a fee of $34.95 for the odd lot purchase. You've already paid $100 for an investment newsletter to help you decide what to buy. What broker would you use and why? What, Forrest? It's on the counter. All right, so getting started here. The cost of the stock. Let's just kind of start with that. How much money are you going to spend if you buy these 35 shares? So you're going to buy 35 shares at $22.18 each. All right, so that's $776.30. Remember, make sure you put 0.30, not just 0.3. So that's the cost of the stock. All right, if you use a full service broker, so we're going to break this kind of apart here. The cost of the stock doesn't change no matter what broker you use. So for the full service broker, you pay 2% commission on the purchase price. So that's kind of money that you're paying them. So the commission on the purchase price, so the purchase price is $776.30 times 0.02. So our commission, that we would pay for the full service broker is $15.53. Remember, you only use 2 decimal places, so that 2 has to round to a 3 because of the 6. And then we have some fees. A $10 fee because it's an odd lot sale. Remember, odd lot means it's not a multiple of 100. And a $15 fee because it's a small purchase. So the fees here are $10 plus $15. So the fees have a total of $25. So our total here is $40.53. And that kind of answers this question. What is the total you must pay if we're using this broker? Okay, then the discount broker. It tells you you will pay a fee of $34.95. That's it, flat fee. Something I do want to point out here, though, it says there's $100, so that $100 for the newsletter is a sunk cost. What that means is it's already gone. It doesn't matter which broker you go with. You already spent that $100. You can't take that into account when you make your decision here. All right, so we need to figure out the difference. This is a difference between the 2 brokers. So $40.53 minus $34.95. It's a difference of $5.58. So we need to answer the question. Which broker would you use and why? I would use blank because blank. ... So there's no right or wrong answer. Well, the wrong answer would be not answering the question. And you can't answer it wrong, but you can say the full service broker or the discount broker. So kind of just walking through it, if you're spending this money on the stock either way, you already spent the $100. You can't take that into account, but you get a newsletter. So this will have some information in it. Remember, the full service broker, you get investment advice. So if you want the full service broker, it's $40.53, and you get investment advice. Or you can use the discount broker. You can save a little bit of money, but you're not going to get advice. Do you think that's enough?
But can you?
You can?
Because I'm waiting for back.
That's what I thought when she was in her chair. It's usually when she fusses like that.
Huh?
That's usually when she fusses like that. But I'm on my last problem.
Okay.
All right, so last one here. You want to leverage your investment by selling short. You borrow 100 shares of stock in XYZ Corporation from your broker on January 2nd. You immediately sell all shares, all 100 shares at $60 a share. 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so where was I? You want to leverage by selling short. You borrow 100 shares on January 2nd. You immediately sell all 100 shares at $60 a share. On April 1st, you instruct your broker to purchase 100 shares at $53 a share, which you return to your broker. What is the return on investment? So let's see. On January 2nd, you get 100 shares and you sell them for $60. So 100 times $60 is $6,000. So that's how much money you're going to make by selling those. But remember, your broker, they gave you these 100 shares. They let you borrow these. So you have to give them back. So on April 1st, you decide to buy 100 shares at $53. And it cost you $5,300. You buy these shares and then you give them back to your broker. So again, the broker gives you 100 shares, you sell them. A little while down the road, you buy them back, and then you give them back. So here your profit is 6,000 minus the 5,300 is $700. It doesn't tell us if there's any kind of fees or anything going on. In there maybe, but in this scenario, without any fees, the profit would be $700. And we want to know the return on investment. So the ROI here, $700 divided by $5,300 that it costs to buy them. That's a 3. It kind of looks like an 8. I apologize. So that's 13.2%. So that's it on that problem. So what you need to do, this is due tomorrow before class starts. Only thing you have left to do is this problem. So answer this and then just go ahead and get it submitted. Like I said, I'm going to try to get mostly everything graded and input so that we can double check everything is correct. Tomorrow we'll be back here for a Kahoot, and then Thursday is our test. If you don't have any questions, you are free to go, and I will see you tomorrow.